And here's a standard bully net. Like I said, it's just basically a long pole with a inverted ring of a standard net. So that's basically there. This one has a hole in it since the rats ate it, so I have to replace it. But I sell replacement nets that I use for the chum nets as well. And then what this does is that keeps the net up, so as you're stabbing it down, it's not drenched over to the side. It keeps it open so that you can get them covered, and then they'll kick out and you can let it go. I remember when ours that we used to use, we'd also have an enclosure rope that we'd pull the rope. Actually, it was a wire. We'd close the wire and it would shut the net off. So that way, because they just spin around and kick around in circles, and then a lot of times they can kick out. So if you use that enclosure, it shuts off the net, and then you can just bring them up at your leisure. But that's the standard bully net. You can get a lot fancier, a lot taller, depending on how professional you want to be. But I'll be going in shallow water, so it shouldn't be much more than the flats, a couple feet or so. But I'll have to fix that. But that's all the components that we need. All right, last but not least, we got to work on the bully net, this guy here. But what I'm going to do is I found this pool cleaning extendable aluminum shaft here, handle. So I think I'm going to try to, and that shouldn't be too hard, I don't think, is adapt this to this. And this pole doubles in length, so closed it's the same exact, but just by extending it out I get double the depth. If I see a deep spot, clear night, we hit them deep lobsters. So let's see what we can do. I think all these are going to be, oh no, they're not screws, so I can get those out. The rats got to it, damn rats. But yeah, no big deal. I got another replacement nets. Buy those at AllAboutTheBait.com. The nets, not the bully net. But yeah, let's get swapping. All right, I just used a grinder to cut a notch there to take off that aluminum sleeve. See all the corrosion underneath it. But what I'm going to do now is just use my bandsaw and just start cutting it down until I hit where these metal prongs go in. And then I'm going to see if I could still use this wood plug, or if I have to upsize it. But this will get me into a more workable position. All right, now check this out. It's, oops, perfect. Bam, look at that. There's a little bit of a gappage, but no big deal. I could punch the ends and take that out. Cut it long enough so both screw holes will be showing. Oh, on both sides I can 4 screws. Nice. So let me see if I could whack this in farther, or if that's the farthest it can go. Holy crap, it's a perfect fit. So I got it jammed up all the way to the end here. You can put 4 screws, 2 on either side, and the cap fits still. It's all broken up, but you can still use it. Put a zip tie there. Man, that is awesome. Quick and easy. So I think I might go to Home Depot, get some stainless steel screws or bolts, and then that'll be it. Oh, I gotta change the net. Ah crap, gotta change the net. Ah crap, that's not good. Dang it. I gotta pull the wires out of that wood plug in order to change the loop, the net. Ah, dang it. I just cut the stubby down until I hit metal, so I knew how long it was, and then split it with my grinder, and that should just come right off. There it goes. So I gotta split this, fix the net, and then put it back together again with a new length of plug. So I could probably go even longer in there, since I could pretty much put the full length inside this tube, but maybe about here should be enough. All right, went ahead and split it. It was actually tack welded. That's why it was so strong together. I don't think I necessarily need to do that. I do have a welder, so I can do it, but just gotta band it. So let me take off this net, rewind on my new net, and then just gotta figure out how to put it back together again. Now for the net, you can either use the All About the Bait 3/4 inch extra large chum ring replacement net, or you can use the 1 1/4 inch mesh blue net. This was the original lobster / chum net, but this I was getting from one of my local guys friends who does my Cuda tubes. But this one is a little bit thicker mesh, and it's the stronger material, so the commercial fishermen have been utilizing this one more for the lobster nets. Eventually what I'll do is I'll even get it, because they want thicker even than this, but this is primarily for chum. But what I'll do is make a similar bag with extra thick rope on it for them specifically. But it can't be too thick because it'll be too heavy, but just a bit stronger mesh, and that should make them happy. And that'll be just strictly for lobsters, but that'll be down the road. But I think I'm going to go with the 3/4 inch since that's mine, and we just need to wind it on here and start reassembling. Now all I'm doing is basically starting on one side, find the loop, put it over the end, and just keep working my way down until probably about 4/5 of it is loaded up, and then you can just keep feeding it around and bringing it around. But you can just keep feeding most of it on there. Makes it easier just to keep going from the one side. Once you have about 2/3 of it on the one side, then you can just basically put these together, minimalize it, and bring it around. So now I just have this little section here that I just need to wind up on either side to close it up. Once I've got all the loops threaded on, temporarily I'm just going to put a zip tie just to hold it together. Just like that. And that's our net basically all wound up, ready for a lobster to climb in there. Now I got to work on the tail here. Next up, we got to figure out the size of the hole that we want to put in our plug. I went ahead and zip tied them together and then used a vice grip to squeeze the tip there so I can get a measurement of the diameter of the drill bit I need. Or you could basically use the plug and figure out what size hole that was. You don't need it to be super tight, but you do want it snug, so it does need to be force fit on there. You don't have to worry too much because the wood is going to swell up when it gets wet. These pieces are going to be pushing out, and then corrosion of course, so not super important to be super tight in there. Just want to be able to be snug and then kind of still have to force it on there. Since I have a MIG welder, I'm going to go ahead and just tack a couple of spots. All it is just to hold them together, makes it easier to work with, but definitely not necessary. I've already got the corrosion knocked off of these in the vise to squish them together exactly where I want them. So I'm just going to just hit it a couple times here. Alright, I went ahead and just tacked it a few spots there. That'll keep it together. Now I have to grind it down, so definitely not worth the time, but if you got a welder and it's convenient, go ahead and hit it up. Then this thing will be totally together and you don't have to try squeezing and forcing and all that. It's just be like driving a nail, so easier but not necessary. Alright, I've got it tacked in and I went ahead and ground down the welds so it's flush. So now what I'm doing is going to be making the plug for it. I was looking at theirs and you can see these holes here, so it doesn't have to be super tight where you're trying to smash it on with a hammer, because this is still just wood and you're going with the seam and it'll just split it real easily. So you just want to get it snug so it sits down on it. Then they ran two holes, and it looks like put pins through there because I saw some holes in here. And I think what I'm going to do is get that plug on there, this guy, so it fits on there snug. Then I'm going to drill a couple of holes, run a screw in there, and then grind off the head so it's just basically a stud in there, and that should hold it on fine. All right, I just used the drill bit. This is going to be my pilot bit just to start the hole down the center, and then if I run it all the way through, that gets to the right distance there, so good to go. I used a smaller bit to do my pilot hole all the way to the depth that I want it. That'll take the tension off as I get a little bit larger, because as you put pressure and you're not cleaning the hole out, it'll actually put pressure and split the walls open. So now it's ready for a bigger bit and then get to my final size. All right, got my hole drill there, so we can go ahead and press in the prongs and see how it fits. I pressed in the ring, so that's in there solid. So let me put a couple of screws, or even if I had nails, that would probably work fine. It's just going to keep it from twisting and pulling out. So let me see what I got. I got a stainless steel screw, ran it through. It's not all the way to the other side, but it is through the metal there. Now I just need to chop off the neck there and take the head off, and then it'll be flush with the wood. So I'll just do one more down here, and we should be good. All right, we got our pins made, so it's locked in there, so we can do the final assembly now. Got a little bit of gaps there, so I'm going to just use some silicone just to prevent a little bit of moisture or water getting in there. I don't think it's going to matter, but I'll just gloop it up, and then I've got this kind of broken up cap, so that'll help hold that on as well. All right, our ring and our plug is done. So I just need to insert it in there, bam, put a couple of screws to hold it in, and we're pretty much done. All right, fit in there nice and snug. It's all the way about to there, so that's gonna be plenty of leverage. I'm gonna put some silicone, put my cap on, got the hose clamp there, and just need to put a couple of screws. All right, got a couple of stainless steel screws that'll go into these holes to lock that wood plug in there. So let me pump those guys in. All right, those are all locked in, and yeah, I think we're done. Nice. Check it out, fully extended, over 11.5 feet. Gives me that range, and then when it's pushed all the way in, it's the same thing as that basic wood handle. Plus this is actually lighter than that wood was, so pretty cool. All right, there you go. That is how to replace a Bullynet net with an AllAboutTheBait. Either the 3/4 inch mesh, you want to get the extra long, or the 1.25 inch blue net is a direct replacement for these Bullynets. Also, the ability to switch from a standard wood handled 6-foot pole to a 11-foot plus pull retractable style handle. Imagine it's aluminum, so super light, strong, but yet can extend out and get them deep ones. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.